Welcome to the Gridiron. Welcome to the Gridiron. The Gridiron.
The Gridiron. The Gridiron.
Okay. Welcome. Kids are back with us today. Welcome, Tate and AJ. How you guys doing?
Good. Doing good.
See these jerseys, guys. What's going on? Yeah.
Football week.
Raiders, Devontae, and is that Mahomes, AJ? Nice. Nice. All right. Well, what do we got today, bro?
Well, let's kick it off with some some kids corner. What's on your guys' minds, fantasy-wise? What's going on?
Probably about my insane win. Really low.
We couldn't hear any of that. What was that?
Probably about my really low win.
Oh, but you did get a win.
Yeah. I was thinking about my tough loss against Annie by 6 points. I was really mad because my brother had Devontae Smith. Well, now I have him, but my brother had Devontae Smith, and it was either a touchdown to Devontae Smith or Miles Sanders, and it went to Devontae Smith instead of Miles Sanders, and I lost the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, big congrats to AJ for his first win. Woo! Now he's not bottom. You moved up a spot in the standings, dude.
AJ, first win in your fantasy football career. I'm sure it feels awesome.
First win. And now every time you see Gramps, you can let him know you're undefeated against him in fantasy.
He made a poll. I told him he was going to lose when he came over for the Seahawks game.
Nice.
And he made it happen.
He made a poll. He made a poll that said, like, Gramps sucks. It was one of those that's like, Gramps sucks, or like, no. Yeah, Gramps does suck.
At fantasy football.
Yeah.
And it's selling houses. Just kidding, Gramps.
Anything else on your guys' minds? Any thoughts about the NFL? Did you see OBJ might be signing with the team? Any thoughts on that?
He's been rumored to be signing with the team since he got hurt in the Super Bowl. So,
did you guys see Seahawks freed up some cap space? Might trade Sidney Jones. Anyone you want the Hawks to trade for?
Lamar
a new
Jackson.
running back.
New running back.
New running back.
Maybe Derrick Henry.
You don't think Ken Walker is awesome?
I would like to have Derrick Henry, though. That would be cool.
Sure, but Ken's pretty sweet.
Ken is sweet.
I hate Ken.
Anyways, let's get into last week's matchups.
Yep. And Kids Corner, let's get into it. Well, we talked about it a little bit already. Tate losing to Annie. Tate, I think you lost because of bye weeks. You had some really important players not playing. We predicted last week that Annie would win because of the bye week, and it would be close. It sucks, man. When your two best players are on bye, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, and your running back choice of Kini Nwangwu was kind of suspect. I mean, he got you a bagel of 0.
Bagel.
I mean, I get it. Running backs off the waiver are hard to come by, so that sucks.
There's probably someone better, but you probably would have lost anyways.
This week I have to start Sony Michelle.
Yeah, I just saw that you picked him up.
Small note here about Annie. She played, 3 Hawks?
Yeah.
We tried to warn you, Annie, like, that's not going to work out, and you won despite that.
Here's a funny thing. Noah Fant outscored Metcalf and Lockett combined.
Yeah, Annie, you're not going to find much success playing 3 Hawks consistently.
I feel like I think I scored pretty good for having my two best players on bye and also having a player that scored 0 points.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did well. Next up is Pops and Sam.
Well, one more thing.
Oh, one more thing.
I mean, we just said it with Tate's matchup, but this is last week was the first week that players even had buys. So it's going to be a part of the season now, is like some of our best players are going to be out. So
yeah,
unfortunately, that's just the times now.
Next up, Pops and Sam.
Pops and Sam.
Solid scores. Pops edges it out. Sam said something about losing to the team with the top score, but this was a low-scoring fantasy week in general. 116 in a lot of weeks was going to lose you quite frequently, so I don't think Sam got that unlucky here.
He did have the second highest score on the week, so that is really unlucky.
Sure, but just in general, 116 isn't a guarantee at all.
Sure.
Not much to say here. Their teams both performed well. Pops just did better. Melvin Gordon sucks. I wouldn't play him again if I were you, Sam.
He is not. He tried to trade me him.
Yeah, I would play James Robinson. I know he's had some off weeks, but
It's better than Gordon.
yeah. Moving on, AJ scrapes out a win against Gramps. Woo! Kind of
Surprisingly, I got a win without Derek.
Yeah, AJ survived his worst bye week without Derrick Henry. Nice job, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it does come down to luck on this matchup because AJ, you did score the second lowest, but hey, if you don't score the lowest, you always have a chance to win, and you did. So nice job.
Yeah, and I liked actually your pickup of Huntley. Was it? You
No, Avery Williams.
Avery Williams.
Ah.
Yeah, 9 points.
Yeah,
Rounded.
nice waiver wire there, dude.
Yeah, very nice.
Next up, Kayla squeaks out a win versus Aiden.
Yeah, this one came down to the Monday night game, and Eckler massively outperformed Mike Williams and got the win for Kales.
Totally.
And it won me $5 with my bet against Eli.
It did.
Wait, what?
Overall, we all think Kayla's team is stronger, so not a huge surprise. There's not much more to say, I guess.
No, I mean, Aiden's team is looking better and better. I mean, I guess 92 doesn't really reflect that, but I think he is not an easy opponent to have any week.
No, Aiden is growing in terms of strength.
Yep. It's with Brees Hall. As he's getting better, his team is looking a lot better.
And you know something I can't deny here is Jason getting another win. Jason's 4-2. And his team's putting up some points.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why are you guys talking trash about my dad when he's on like a 3 winning streak or something?
That's what we're saying. Maybe we got to stop the trash talk.
I'm not going to. Look at his roster.
Yeah, but his roster has some good players.
Tate, what do you think about your dad's team?
Well, he has a good team. I do think he's gonna lose this game only because Diggs is on bye. And I think I might lose this game, but I have Russell now, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you playing him this week?
Yeah, because Josh Allen's on bye.
Yeah. We'll talk about your trade when we get to the power rankings. Next up, Joe beats Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't score super high, but one play would have won me the week, and it was a Jamar Chase, 65-yard reception touchdown that got Joe literally 18 points. So I was one play away, but, definitely deserved the loss this week.
Sure. I mean, that's what happens when you got superstars. They
bust.
Go off.
Yeah.
And then Trav hands me my first loss.
Yep.
So no more winless or undefeated teams as of last week.
Yep.
I'm not super surprised. I had my 2 best players on bye.
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about this last week, you were pretty sure that you were going to lose too.
This is kind of exactly what I thought was going to happen. And I had a chance to win, and my players underperformed in general. So
the players you had to stream put up 5 points pretty much combined. So, yeah. That's what happens when you have bye weeks.
Trav made an awesome move here, and he snagged Garoppolo, who I was totally going to try and waiver. But the difference wasn't enough for the win. Still, great move. He locked me out of 12 points there.
Yeah.
Savvy move, savvy Trav. Anything else we want to talk about with last week?
Hey, Gabe.
Yes.
You know, a thing I want to say about your team is you've only been winning games, but you've been getting low scores.
I know.
So if you play higher scores, you're gonna lose. Just letting you know.
Oh, I know, dude. I'm getting lucky with my wins.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the Week 6 power rankings.
Thanks.
Uh,
Okay.
And let's get into it. Thanks again for everyone for sending their rankings. Thanks for Gabe. Let's get into it.
Yeah. New bottom team this week. AJ is no longer last. It's Gramps. AJ, I see that you ranked Gramps last. Why?
well, Luke, I feel I got lucky on his 2 wins, really.
For sure.
And then since I beat Grandpa and we're both 1 and 5, I just decided to put me above Grandpa, so I put him at bottom.
Totally. So you put Gramps below Luke just because Luke has an extra win, you would say?
Yeah, and it was kind of really lucky, so I don't.
But they're both down there for you. Yeah. For sure. I think it's kind of like the league pretty much has the same view of Gramps. It's either last or dead last. So it's not looking good.
Yeah, Gramps' best player should be Mixon, and Mixon's been below average.
I would think
Herbert hasn't been a superstar. We'll see if Keenan coming back helps Gramps, but he's still been playing 2 Jets receivers, playing a Jets receiver. His running back 2 is garbage, and his tight end is hit and miss. And
I mean,
his
I
bench
was
does.
lucky that Herbert had a horrible game, or he would have won.
Yeah, but Herbert hasn't really had any great games this year either.
No, he is not.
Last year we were seeing Herbert put up like 36, 42, 25. Now it's like 12, 16.
He had a 26 and a
Yeah,
23.
but that's what you expect from Herbs, you know?
24. But that's really it.
I guess not anymore.
I mean, for how high Gramps drafted Herbs, he was hoping for like 24 would be like close to the lowest, you know? But that's kind of what he's getting at his highest.
Yeah, not looking good for Gramps. Should have traded with me. Shouldn't have traded with Sam, which you didn't. Nice job, Gramps.
Yeah.
Gabe, talk to us about this.
So I wanted to see what like the rankings that we've had over the season looked like. So for each team after their rankings, there's going to be a graph like this, and red is highlighted where they have been in the standings through the 6 weeks that we've had these so far. So as you can see, Gramps started at 12 and he's kind of middled his way around the bottom, and now he's plunked down in 14th.
That's that.
That is that.
Next up, Luke. We had kind of already talked about Luke. Honestly, I'd put Luke and Gramps in the same bucket. Not much going on with the team,
No.
and probably should be trading away for better team depth across the board.
It's tough
not-
because
ESPN only rates by like win streak.
Yeah.
ESPN is literally off record, and then if it's tied, it does points for. So that's what is propping up Luke a little bit. Otherwise, I'm assuming if we just took that out, like everyone who submitted rankings that isn't a computer has Luke and Gramps in the bottom too. So
Yeah, Luke.
You're a loser.
I don't know what we need to say. Like, if you're in this position and you have Cooper Cup and you're starting crap players at other positions, I think for people that can afford to lose depth to improve their starting roster, it would help your team to like trade Cup for a wide receiver 2 and a running back 2.
yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week, but like, you don't want to give Cup away for that.
I know, but you got to do something. You're staring down the barrel. Make something happen. You know,
Make something happen. Lynn.
make something happen. Come on. And as you can see, Luke's been at the bottom, so it's not as bleak as it was before. But he's been a down, up, down, up, down, and maybe it goes back up, but
Unlikely.
it's not going to.
I mean, Luke and Gramps are playing, so it's.
There you go.
Oh.
He's got his probably best chance for the rest of the year to get a win.
Yeah, but he has Cup on bye.
He does have Cup on bye.
So
Well,
that's
yeah, we'll get into this in the
not
matchups,
gonna
but
happen.
it's looking dire.
Next up, AJ again. Congrats on the win, dude.
Yeah.
You're rising in the rankings, dude. You won with Derrick Henry on bye. How does it feel, man?
Good. Probably, maybe my most surprising win of the season.
I would agree because
It's your only.
his best player was out. Just goes to show, man, luck has a lot to do with these fantasy
It
wins.
totally does.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I had 2 players that scored 1.2 and I still won. And I
Yeah.
didn't have my best player and like
well, you know how you got unlucky losing to me when you scored 130? Well, you just won when you scored 70. So, stuff happens.
Yeah.
Not a ton to comment on about your team. You get some players back, and your starters are pretty clearly defined. So, I'd just keep rolling and keep hoping that the dice roll in your favor, man. Time to stack up some wins.
Yeah. I mean, as we said earlier, you're going to need like a long win streak to get into the playoffs, but you started that last week. Hopefully you can keep it rolling.
Yeah. And it really helps that I think Derrick Henry is going to crush the Colts this week. So, looking for like one of those vintage Derrick Henry 3-touchdown games,
3 touchdown, 200 yards.
Yeah, one game this year, Derrick Henry will just go nuts.
wait, 5 points, just go. I had this I don't know why. Gabe, why are you starting Jonathan Taylor?
Gabe's not starting Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, Gabe is. Sorry.
Well, let's talk about that when we're talking about the matchups next week.
Okay.
You can see AJ. He started, kind of dropped, went up, kind of dropped. He was at the bottom. Now you've risen from the bottom, dude. So hopefully this red keeps going up and up and up for you.
Yep.
But if you're going up, that means someone else is going down. Next up is Aiden. And honestly, Aiden might be ranked too low. I guess it's time. Let's talk about this trade.
Ranked too low. I mean, at 1 and 5, he's not ranked too low.
At 1 and 5, he's not ranked too low. But his team looks stronger than I thought it looked multiple weeks ago. In large because of Breece Hall suddenly becoming, in my mind, like kind of a top 10 back.
He looks really good.
He looks really good. Did you know that Breece Hall is on pace to be the #1 back in receptions this year?
I did not know that.
He's getting the most targets, and targets are super valuable for running backs.
Yeah, they are. That's awesome.
That and
He has Pitts and Cooper now.
well, let's get into this.
Yeah. So, Tate, you traded away Pitts and Cooper for Russell Wilson and Devontae Smith. Why do you feel like you needed Russell Wilson?
So, well, first of all, obviously this week Josh Allen has a bye, but Josh Allen, some matchups where, because I just feel like if Josh Allen's playing like a super good defense, I would maybe start Wilson. And Josh Allen, if he gets hurt, that is big for me because he's like my best player, so I'd have to start Wilson. So that's just, he's kind of like my backup, but like he's really important for my team if any of these things happen. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, we don't think it's a terrible trade, but we're maybe not as excited as you. We're thinking like, Cooper is better than Devonta Smith, although Smith has value. It's not like crazy, but then we're thinking like Russell is really, really bad.
He's been really bad this year.
He's been really bad. So why do you think Russell is going to be better moving forward?
I think because after this game, he's been starting to throw pretty good passes to like Jerry Jeudy and that rookie tight end guy. I feel like he's getting, because I feel like later on this season, he's going to get more used to his targets, more used to just, and more used to the team, to be honest. And then he'll start, I'm really like counting on Jerry Jeudy a lot because he's fast and I want him to like run a lot of yards, so it counts as his throwing yards. And and then Devontae Smith, I got him just because I already wanted him, and since I traded Cooper, I might as well get a wide receiver in return.
Sure. I mean, honestly, if you just traded Smith for Cooper because you thought Smith had more upside or whatever and Cooper's too risky, it's not the worst trade in the world. Cooper's not that much more valuable than Smith. We were just questioning letting go of Pitts for Russell, but it's good to hear your side. You think he's going to grow into the team and you think he's a good emergency backup option for Josh Allen. Hey, this is why people should be able to make their own trade decisions, because you really don't know what's going to happen in fantasy.
Totally.
Like, Josh Allen could tear his whatever in practice. Russell could finish the year as QB1 after this week, and you never know. So,
yeah. It's been an ongoing issue in our league, this trade sort of like cloud of like, what can we do in trades? And I think that any manager should have the autonomy to do any moves that they want.
yeah.
And if you want to do this move, you should absolutely be allowed to.
Yeah, well, congrats on your first trade. It's really exciting. I like the thought process you put into it, dude. I don't necessarily agree, but I like the way you're thinking about it. And that's awesome. I do think it makes Aiden's team slightly better right now because he didn't need Russell. He has other quarterbacks to play.
Yeah.
So getting Cooper helps.
Pitts
Well,
could
I also
turn
wanted
around.
to help my brother. Like, but not because he's 1-5. I don't think he's. I don't know, but I think
Maybe what you mean is like you're more willing to trade with him because you don't see him as that much of a threat at the top of the standings.
Yeah. Also,
Whereas
because
you might not
they're-
trade with me because I'm sitting up there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also, it's easy to trade with your brother because you're around them all the time. You just talk about this stuff.
Yeah,
We know.
we get it. Moving on.
Moving on, Aiden, everyone ranks him at 11.
Yeah, and he's climbing.
Yeah.
So next up is Trav.
No change. He got a win finally after 4 losses.
It's true, but his full strength team with great matchups only put up
100 points.
100 points.
It's weird because it looks like his team is so much better on paper than what's like actually happening.
I will say one thing. Zeke finally heated up last week, and Zeke has 2 juicy matchups moving forward.
Yeah, we'll see if Dak coming back impacts that at all because week 1 went back in there.
I think
looked
it
different.
helps. I know Cooper Rush won some games, but he's had the lowest completion percentage and air yards in the NFL.
Which means they've been running.
They've been running and teams have been stacking the box, basically. Cowboys have just been pounding it out, riding their defense, winning close games. Rush has done well, but Dak is better. He makes their offense more able to throw the ball, so it'll open up. I think Dak makes the Cowboys better.
Yes.
The Cowboys being better helps Zeke.
I don't
Guys,
necessarily.
I'll be right back.
Okay, AJ has to poop. Like DK, he's getting carted off.
I just think like if you take Dak and the more throwing that they're going to do, it's probably going to hurt Zeke a bit. And I get like, oh, better offense, running back probably does better, more opportunities. But it's a trade-off, and I think it's probably going to slightly hurt.
Maybe my thought is that Zeke's biggest value is he's totally the goal line back.
Yeah.
You know that for sure. He's going to get 10 plus carries, and he's going to get the goal line carries. And so the Cowboys were the #1 scoring offense last year. That really helped Zeke. Dak was a big part of that. And so if they're just in the 20 more,
Yeah.
really,
that's true.
really, really going to help. That and Dak hits Zeke on more screens than Rush was. And Zeke got a lot of points from screens last year. We'll see.
Yeah.
So I think Travis's team is appropriately ranked here, although I do see him winning some matchups against some weaker teams and climbing the ranks.
Yeah. I mean,
Brady's likely going to do better than he is as it sits. Kirk has been down, and he'll probably do a little better. That being said, his team is an injury away from collapse. Like, if he lost Barkley or McCaffrey, he's going to struggle. So, yeah, record reflects where he's at, and I think maybe he has a chance to climb.
Yeah. Agreed.
Still the worst start to the season. The draft sucks.
Yeah.
You can see we thought he was good and he lost too many games, and now we think he's sitting appropriately. So I could see him rising back up to 6th if he wins some more games.
Yeah, I mean, the only way he gets back up there is if he's like in contention record-wise with the teams in that area.
Totally. Next up is Joe.
Joe,
Go Sox!
he did pretty good. He beat me resoundingly.
Sure.
Top 5 score of the week.
Joe has 3 big punch receivers that wouldn't surprise you any week if they hit 20 and 30.
No, but
And
that's
his
all he has.
Running backs are weak, and his quarterback is middling.
Well, the thing is, when Cordell Patterson comes back, he's going to do a lot better.
Is he, though?
That's the thing. It's a little risky just because Cordero is so old. When old guys get hurt, especially at running back, usually they don't come back and perform as well.
That and Cordero had crazy touchdown luck the first few games, so I think he does good, but I doubt he's number 5. Cordero, to me, is more of a, like, number 15 to 20 running back at best.
Yeah, which
over
still
a season.
It's still better than Algier, but
Sure. Just saying, like, Joe's got holes in his roster at tight end, running back, and not the best quarterback.
Also, Algier, I think it's the backup because I have the starter, then Gramps, then Algier.
Well, I
mean,
think, AJ, you have the return guy. You have the guy getting the return yards, but that's all you need sometimes, you know?
in this league, it works really well to have
It's
that
a good
guy.
floor. Yeah.
Didn't work for me.
No, it did not.
No, and it didn't work for me with DJ Dallas. So it's risky. But sometimes it pays off big time.
Yeah, I mean, we all see Joe around here just because I think it's like the big holes in his roster. Like he's got a great top 3 receivers, but
Yeah, like I played Joe this weekend. Obviously, Joe could win. But every position other than those 3 receivers, I've got a big advantage over him. And receivers, like, they are, I'd say they go up and down more than running backs. Like, it wouldn't shock you if Debo has an 8-point game. It wouldn't shock you if
Chase is 6. Yeah.
Waddle gets 3 targets because Tyreek takes over, you know?
I'll be right back.
All right, take ass to poop. You kids are pooping a lot. What are you dads feeding them? Anyways, Joe, you're here, and it seems appropriate.
Yeah.
You can see, based on some losses and the loss of Cordero and then just middling quarterback play, you have risen and now fallen.
Interestingly, right back to where Eli and I had you after the draft, right at 9.
You know, maybe at the end, we can look at this graph and just see, like, where you and I had everyone week 1 and see where they are now and see how accurate we were. That might be interesting.
For sure.
Next up is Gabe, and just looking at this, really up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah, I think I was the most volatile in these projections.
And again, a household split here. You, me, and Kayla rank you high. Everyone else ranks you low. You've dropped, even though, you know, I would argue your team significantly improves with Hopkins coming in this week. That and Kamara established himself. That and
Taylor being back.
Jonathan Taylor comes back. You got a great starting roster this week. I'm very surprised you're ranked 8th, honestly.
Well, it's Pops and AJ holding me back.
Pops and AJ doubting your team. The standings doubting your team. AJ, why do you think Gabe's team is worse than Joe's team?
Let's see. Let's go to Gabe's.
By the way, I'm not
team.
questioning him. I'm curious. Like, what is it about Joe's team that's better than Gabe's?
Well, I feel like Joe's team, his wide receivers are averaging around 75 points. Because he's got, like, because Aaron Rodgers is, I mean, Etienne's doing okay. He's not doing horrible.
Yeah,
But
he's
I
doing
also think
okay.
I just think his wide receivers are really good. And they're
Sure.
kind of winning him the games.
Totally.
All right. Sounds good. Well, on strength of receivers, you know, there's some multiple ranks for Joe above Gabe in these So I guess verdicts yet out.
Yeah.
You can see Gabe. We ranked him real high to start. He took a sharp fall, fell more. He had no wins at this point, and now, based off of a 3-win streak, he's risen and now fallen again after a loss. So pretty much just following the wins losses there.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm back.
Nice. Next up is Sam.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Sam's team?
You're a loser.
I think it's really good. I think I'm gonna win this week because he doesn't have Hurts.
And Jefferson.
Yeah, his two most important players, and I have Josh Allen, but I have Russell Wilson to slip in. So I don't know. I think his record's gonna be 3-4. So I don't know.
Love it.
AJ, what do you think about Sam's team?
I think it's pretty good. I think you're gonna lose, but really only because Miles Sanders and Josh Allen's having a bye. If you had Josh Allen and Miles Sanders, I would say you would win probably. But I think Sam's gonna win.
It's an interesting matchup. Both quarterbacks on bye, both of the best players on bye.
No.
Well, Jefferson and
I mean, Josh Allen's your best player, so yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like bye versus bye. I think it'll be a close matchup.
Yeah, and I think Sam deserves this spot. I mean, his team does look good. His running backs are looking better, with Walker looking amazing.
Such a huge improvement to his team getting Walker.
Yeah. But Sam, the rest of the running backs on your bench are really bad, and you should consider just dropping them
Yeah, I don't know.
instead of trying to trade them to me.
Sam's team is like a better version of Joe's to me right now. Like 3 good receivers. It used to be I'd say Joe's was better of Sam's, but Joe's running backs have fallen off.
Boom, and
And
Sam's
Sam's
have
have
gone
gotten
up.
better.
Yeah.
That and Sam's quarterback is pretty super solid.
Yeah.
So kind of no holes in the roster on Sam's team. Tight end sucks, I guess. Running back 2 was weak, but just a good team. Deserves to be right here.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see we ranked Sam low. He Raz, and he fell, Razed again and fell. Sam's probably going to wind up somewhere in between the 3 to 7 range, depending on how his record goes.
Yep. What up, Pops?
What up?
Pops, what do you think about Sam's team?
Where did I rank him? 6th.
You ranked him 6th.
Yeah, solid 6th.
Why do you think your team is better than Sam's? Let's talk about that.
I just beat his team.
Sure.
No debates.
Good point. There you go. All right. Next up, we got Jay Sonic. AJ, what do you think about Uncle Jace?
Well, he beat me on the game I really needed to win.
Yeah.
So that was kind of annoying. But besides that, I think he has a really solid team.
I don't know why you guys are talking all this smack about him. He's obviously a top tier team.
Well,
He,
let's talk about this. So, what's his quarterback situation like?
I think Trevor Lawrence is good.
Let's see. Trevor Lawrence is quarterback 11. So in a 14-team league, he's
He's a starter.
okay.
Low end starter.
Low end starter.
Let's talk about his running backs.
Fournette, running back 5, very solid.
Great running back. But
And-
then running back 2.
J.K. Dobbins, who looks to be still hurt, and the Ravens are weary
Well-
to trust him with the load.
He might start Khalil Herbert.
Who is a pure backup.
Yeah, Khalil Herbert's like Tony Pollard. Like, you don't really want to play them.
Herbert looked okay last week, just based on that one long run, but it's clearly still
Dude, it's
Montgomery who owns
It's
that backfield.
Montgomery's backfield.
Deontay Johnson, wide receiver 42. I'm just looking at his
Yeah.
lineup this week. Robbie Anderson, the new Cardinal, wide receiver 71. Taysom Hill in at tight end.
Sure. I mean, he's either gonna get you nothing or 40, and he's gonna not get you 40 very often. So like,
He's not getting 40 again this year.
no way in smell.
And then Zach Ertz in the flex, who's a great tight end.
Well, he's not great.
He is great for a tight end. Yes, he's like tight end 3.
Well, he's
Well,
not.
he's 4 due to he's 4,
Well, he averages 10 points,
which is awesome for a tight end.
but he's
that's-
not the top tier tight ends.
So he has one good player in Leonard Fournette, and the rest of his
Well,
team.
Diggs is on the bench on bye.
Yeah, Diggs is amazing, but right now he's got one good player in Leonard Fournette, and everyone else you would not want to be in your starting lineup besides Ertz.
Not a single one of his other players would make me or Gabe starting lineups, or a lot of people's starting lineups. They're not good. They're okay. So that's why we talk crap.
Yeah,
But his record is great. And he might win again this week.
against Travis,
Yeah.
we shall see.
Anyways, differing opinions on Jason. Gabe and I are clearly the lowest on his team and on his, personality and his
Offspring.
offspring and his career and his choice of cars and
Hairstyles.
clothing and, pretty much everything about him.
You're just sad that he's better than you. I mean, what?
I am a little upset that his roster has more wins than mine.
Yeah, Jason, you're winning games. That's awesome. And you're rising the rankings. Let's see if you can keep it up.
Yeah.
We are doubters, but keep proving us wrong, man.
Yeah.
You can see a clear rise. We told Jason you'd never rise, and look at him here. He's risen above Gabe.
Yep.
Risen above everyone below him.
That is true. He's taken the adversity and put it back in our faces.
Uh,
But he'll fall again soon.
next up is Pops.
Shut up.
Rising after a nice win over Sam. I mean, Pops is just kind of a medium solid team across the board. And his stack has been hitting. And his players are just kind of exactly what you expect. But when that happens and you're stable, that's really good.
Yeah, I think he's like probably the most solidly average team in the league, and
And
that's all you need.
somehow strangely, the injury to Elijah Mitchell might be helping his team because the Niners have less backs they trust to share the load. And Jeff Wilson is just loading up. And so he had a bad week last week. Doesn't really matter. He's going to get the load this week.
Totally.
Just pretty
He is
solid.
playing Kayla.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to win this week. I'm just
It's really nice to have a solid, consistent fantasy team, and clearly it's done him well because he's right up here with the playoff hopefuls.
yeah, he's one of the highest ranked 3-3 teams. He might be the highest ranked 3-3 team.
That he is.
So Pops, we're positive on the outlook of your team.
Yeah.
Just we think you're more around like 7th than where you and AJ rank you at 5th. You have unrealistic outlooks on your team, according to me and Gabe. That's it.
Yeah.
And you can see you have risen from real low. I think we were scared about injuries on your team after week 1 and your loss. And
Yeah.
you won some games and your team looks stable and good.
Yeah.
So Dalvin's turning it up finally.
Yep.
Next up is Tate.
Tate, you fall this week. What do you think about that? Oh,
Well, I still think my team's better than Annie's.
So do
That
I.
loss, I was mad at that
so does
loss.
AJ.
Yeah.
But yeah, record matters, and I did lose to her, so it makes sense. But we won't. But if we played in the playoffs, I think I would beat her if I had like my players like.
So very interestingly, Tate, I actually think Annie has potentially a better overall roster than you. And I think I'm really questioning her choice to play 3 Seahawks.
Same.
And that's kind of making me rank you above her. That's pretty much it. I think if she managed her roster in a way that I saw better, obviously she thinks this is the best call, I would totally be up with Annie at 3 because, I don't know.
Well, here's
Throughout her roster, she has great depth and great starters.
the thing I'm worried about the 3 Seahawks is the Seahawks. She's playing 3 Seahawks. She's playing me. The Seahawks are playing Chargers D, and I have Chargers D.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's juicy.
So if the Seahawks did insane, like Metcalf a touchdown, Tyler Lockett 2 touchdowns, my defense would have like minus 6 points.
sure. One interesting thing is those are the 3 top pass catchers on the Hawks. So she's pretty much locking up like 90% of the Hawks' passing yards.
Yep.
That being said, Gino's kind of had some like magic pixie dust on his hand, and I think we all expect him to regress a little bit. Not to be bad, but to like maybe be a little less top 5 quarterbacky. Maybe be more like top 10, top 15.
For a career backup that Gino has been, it's insane that he's doing so well, and it's not going to stay. So riding on the Gino like hype train, I think, is only going to leave you sad if you keep on rolling with it.
Well, it's just not gonna like hit hard enough to get you like, you playing those 3 players, you want 50 points out of them, ideally, you know? That's the dream state. That is not gonna happen very often,
No.
if ever.
I mean, last week they got like 15 or like a little less than 15.
Hawks are still a run first team.
Yeah.
It's not the team you want to be playing 3 receivers from. I get it if it was a couple of years ago and it was the Chiefs and you were playing, you know, Tyreek, you know,
Kelsey,
MVS,
or
like he came on the team this year. But if you're playing Nicole, Tyreek, and Kelsey, I'd be like, whatever, it's the Chiefs. But anyways, Tate, your team is good. You're going through your 2 weeks of like bye-week torture right now, but I always think better to do that early. Doesn't really matter, but you'll get through it. You might lose this week because of your best players on bye, but if you can somehow scrape a win, I think you'll be looking real good.
yeah. Okay.
There's a random guy at AJ's house.
Moving on.
Moving
Tate.
on, Tate, you've risen from the depths to the heights.
Yep, looking good still.
Guys, I'm gonna leave the podcast. My friend's over.
Okay.
All right, bye, AJ.
Bye.
Hey.
Have fun.
I was just doing a kid back there.
All right, well, moving on. Annie's at 3.
Yeah, we did just kind of go over Annie. 2, 3, 4. Everyone sees her right around there.
Yeah, you know, looking back at this trade now, I still don't know who's won it. It was a big time trade, trading Jonathan Taylor.
For DK and
Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, neither of us have really won off of it yet because no
It's
one's.
just weird because Tyler Lockett's actually been outperforming DK. And it's like, which Hawk do you bench? Obviously, you bench Tyler, but like that doesn't necessarily work out.
You don't have to bench either of them. You play them both, but it's just not ideal.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Annie, your team looks awesome though.
Yeah.
Like top to bottom. Just don't play 3 Hawks.
Play Hayden Hurst. Okay.
You are at the top. You move down. Now you're back near the top.
Yep.
5-1 is a great record.
Yes, it is. Eli Falls. Tate, what do you think about that? Eli's reign of number 1 is over.
You shouldn't have won and you didn't win because your bye weeks suck and I wish they were never a thing and that's why I lost and yeah.
You know, I'll be a little reflective here. I think my team will drop further if McLaurin and Sutton don't get their crap sorted out.
Yeah.
They're getting a boost in my mind, and they should be because of name recognition. They're both great receivers, but they're not getting enough targets. They're not getting enough yards. They're not getting enough touchdowns. And I have Ayuk and Dobbs. They are objectively worse. And so I can't compete with the likes of Tate and Annie, who I would say would be better than me if McLaurin and Sutton don't step it up. So, and teams in dire straits in terms of fighting for that number 1 spot. I feel great about my team overall, but I think they're looking a little weaker than they did maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I never had you as the number 1.
No, me either.
I definitely don't think you're the best team in the league, but you do deserve to be up here in like the top brass. You're just not as strong as other people thought you were.
Yeah, I think I deserve to be at 2, but it's an iffy 2 right now. Like Tate and Annie could surpass.
Yeah, and Pops has the lowest opinion of you, so
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
pretty funny. Your dad doesn't believe in you.
well, he ranks me above his other sons, so clearly I'm the favorite son.
I guess so.
Also in fantasy. Yeah, another thing is Swift coming back from injury. Like, kind of a weird dichotomy where like sucks not to play. It's just there's Jamal Williams is annoyingly good. It was great when Swift was out. I wish Jamal Williams would have a very small injury now while Swift is coming back.
Yeah, they'll vulture off each other if they're both healthy, which sucks.
Sure.
And you can't
So,
play both of them.
Yeah, but
Well, he could.
Pierce is back and Pierce is awesome.
Eli could, but I think it would be a bad play.
I'm really stoked on Pierce. I want to get a Pierce jersey. He's freaking the man.
Do it.
And you can see I have risen as my standings have risen and fallen now as my standings have fallen.
Yeah.
And then unanimous Kayla.
Yep. Consensus number 1.
Let's just not even talk about it. She's the best team.
No debate.
No debate. If anyone says otherwise, you're kicked out of the podcast.
I think I'm better.
You're out of the podcast. Tate, I just muted you.
Unmute him.
All right. I'm gonna unmute you.
Oh God.
Oh God, Tate.
Oh, Tate's back.
Okay, you're back. All right, sorry about that, bud.
Eli was vindictive. Okay, risers and fallers. I put those like brackets. This is just my opinions, but Kayla clearly number 1. Eli, Annie, Tate, contenders for the belt. I think they still have their hat in the ring for having the best record. You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
I might extend the belt contenders down to Pops, Jason, Sam. Nah, I like how you have it.
Playoff teams right now, it's Pops, Jason, Sam, and myself. We're all at 3-3 except Jason, who's 4-2.
Jason.
I think we all have like top 8 rosters.
Yeah, I mean these brackets just kind of show like what we expect moving forward.
Yeah. Trav and Joe, weird like middle ground there. You have good rosters, but not everyone can make the playoffs. And Aiden, AJ, Luke, and Gramps, it does not look good for you this year, and you should probably just give up.
Wouldn't shock me if Aiden supplants Joe and supplants Jason and supplants Aaron as the year moves on. I'm kind of liking how Aiden's team's looking.
Maybe, but he's a couple games back.
But 1 and 5 is rough.
That's why they're down there.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Now's the time of the year where you could genuinely start to look at strength of schedule. And look at the people's outlooks. I have a hard strength of schedule. My 5 wins came against not necessarily the best competition. Jason being the highlight of those. Gramps, another one.
AJ,
Luke, another one. AJ, another one. And then I beat Annie, which is awesome. But I still have to play Kayla. I still have to play Tate. I still have to play Pops. I still have to play Sam. I still have to play Gabe. And I'm playing Joe. So my entire rest of the year is pretty much
the top team.
the top. So when I start to think about my team, that's why I'm saying I think I'm going to slide. I think other teams will perform similarly based on them facing a lighter schedule.
Totally.
For example, I think Aiden's team is going to rise. I'm calling it. Aiden's team is going to rise.
Okay. That's it.
Real quick, I want to look back at this and let's see on this graph where we ranked them 1 and where they are now.
Okay.
So Kayla's the same.
Kayla, we ranked 1.
So we were right about Kayla.
Yep. That's myself at 2, and I'm at 6th.
Yep. We were a little off on you.
3, we had Annie.
Annie.
She is 3.
Yeah, so we nailed Annie.
Nailed Annie. 4.
4
was yourself, Eli.
Yeah.
And you are now 2.
Yeah, so close.
Close. 5. Who is that? Aiden. And he has really fallen, but as
Yeah.
you said, you think he's going to rise.
I think he ends up at 5 at the end of it. I really do.
Okay. 6, we had Travis.
Travis, and Travis has fallen.
He's gone up and then he's fallen.
So we were a little wrong about Trav.
7, who is that? That is Luke.
Luke.
Very wrong about Luke. He has looked terrible since week 1.
La.
8 is
Bang, bang, bang.
Number 5. That
Pops.
is Pops.
I mean, close. 8 to 5. That's only 3 difference.
Sure.
That's still like right in the middle where we still think he is.
Sure, and you and I are still ranking him at 8.
Yes. Who's 9?
Ding ding
Ding, ding, ding. Joe.
Joe starts at 9, ends at 9.
Yep.
Nailed it.
10. I think that's Gramps. That is Gramps.
Yeah, we ranked him 10th, and now
No. That's AJ.
we ranked him 10th, now he's 12th. That's pretty close.
Yep.
11 shoots up, shoots back down, shoots up. That's Sam.
That is Sam. We hated his draft. He's proven us wrong.
Yeah, well, luck has proven us wrong. You know,
Sure.
like getting Ken Walker, getting Melvin. You know,
Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. 12.
Sam.
I think 12 was Gramps, and he is down to 14th. So we
Yep.
thought he was going to be bad. He is.
He's worse than we could have possibly imagined.
I'm 13.
Yeah, Tate, we had you at 13, and you have proven us wrong.
So
How,
look at this chart. We were the most wrong about Tate.
Yes, we
So
were.
Tate, apologies for doubting your team week 1, dude.
Yeah, we were very
Okay.
wrong. And you are
I
a much better player than we thought you were going to be.
How do you rank me at 13 when I have Josh Allen on my team?
Because it's no guarantee that a quarterback can, like, look at Mahomes, look at Herbert, look at Wilson. Quarterbacks you spend capital on, like Josh Allen, it wouldn't blow your mind if he was quarterback 8 on the year. It wouldn't blow your mind if Josh Jacobs was not anywhere near what he is right now. Wouldn't blow your mind if Miles Sanders fumbled and never touched the ball again. Wouldn't blow your mind if Devontae wasn't the same guy on the Raiders. There was a lot of question marks about your team week 1.
Yeah.
Okay, it
That
would
being
blow
said-
my mind if Miles Sanders never touched the ball again.
He was one fumble away from getting benched, dude. He was on thin ice.
He wasn't nice.
Josh Jacobs didn't get re-signed. Like, we didn't even think they were going to hand him the ball that much.
Yeah. Tate, going into the year, your team was full of question marks, and they pretty much all hit above expected. So
Yeah, and it seems like you analyzed those question marks differently than us, and you were correct and we were wrong.
exactly.
So that's why we're like, dang, dude, nice.
Yeah.
We still don't agree with your draft strategy of a quarterback in the second round, but you picked the right one. If you're going to do it, you have to hit on the number 1 or 2.
Yep.
So, nice job, dude. And then at 14, there's just a dot here.
Oh, that's someone. That's Jason.
It'd be
Doesn't
funny.
even get a line.
The line is kind of blurred.
No, he should be here. That's what it means.
Jason has also proven us wrong, but I don't think as
Oh my gosh. Don't even say what you're going to say.
as much as the league thinks.
Jason's hot tub is lame.
Jason should still be 14th, and yeah,
I really don't like the way Jason
You guys smell like
manicures his
poop.
facial hair. As you can see, Gabe and I have superior beards.
I think Denver is a lame city, and anyone who moves there is lame.
You're calling me lame?
Tate, what?
Well, you didn't move to Denver.
Tate, what city do you live in?
I don't live in a city.
What town do you live in? What's the name of your town?
Littleton?
Littleton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fitting.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Short?
Well, we're complimenting you and talking smack on your pops. So,
All right, let's go through these matchups quick.
yeah, I'm gonna win.
Tate, who do you think's going to win between Eli and Joe?
Eli?
All right, I think so too.
Really quick, I get back Dak for the first time against the Lions. Great matchup.
Yep.
I get Swift back, maybe.
Questionable.
Sure, but if not, then I have Jamal.
Yep,
It almost might be better if Swift didn't play.
maybe.
Pierce is back against Vegas. Good matchup. Good matchup. I'm gonna play Ayuk. Maybe, I don't know. I might play McLaurin.
Better matchup.
Kelsey.
Yep.
Najee finally gets like a not crushing defense. We'll see if he can do anything. And then great matchup. Doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
Why are you
Joe,
playing?
you have 3 question marks over here too, and I don't even know who Caitlin Granson is.
He's gonna be the biggest shot in the dark all year. So it's
The biggest shot in the dark all year might have been that whatever guy Sam played at tight end who scored a touchdown for the Giants. Bellinger?
yeah.
I'd never heard of him.
He got like 12 points, and then Sam dropped him.
And Rodgers is questionable.
He's
huh?
fine. He's fine.
Well, you never know.
Anyways, we're all going Eli.
Yep.
Tate. Oh, dude, I think I have to go Sam on this one. Sony Michel is really gonna hurt. I don't think Alec Pierce is gonna get a lucky end of game touchdown like he did last week. And Chase Claypool also kind of sucks, and he had his best game of the season last week, and he won't repeat that.
I'm gonna win because Sam doesn't have Hurts and Jefferson, and that's really his. I mean, I don't have
And that's his bread and butter.
Allen and Sanders, but literally half like 3/4 of Sam's points is literally like all Jalen Hurts and Jefferson. If Jefferson has a big game,
It's true.
but if Jefferson doesn't have a big game, he loses. So since he doesn't have Jefferson, he's gonna lose.
All right.
All right.
What do you think, Eli?
Lean and Sam, partially because of some juicy matchups. Chargers D, horrible against the run. Ken's gonna destroy him.
Yeah, but Josh Jacobs is against Houston and Devontae.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out like the weak spots in Sam's roster at running back. He has juicy matchups here. New Orleans been really bad against the run, and it's the starter.
And it would not surprise me if Heineke outscores Russell at all.
It would not surprise me if Russell doesn't even play. He's kind of dinged up this week. He's hurt. His hamstring is trash, and he's been so bad.
They wouldn't bench him.
So bad.
They might always injured bench him.
Yeah, I just think Sam's team, you're hurting from the bye. So is Sam, but he just has a little bit deeper of a bench, and I think he pulls it out. But I think it's close, man. I would not be surprised if you win, and I'm rooting for you to win.
Yeah, I am rooting for you too, Tate.
Yeah. Also, just a side note, anyone wants to trade for me for Ayuk after his big game last week,
But I dig on Sam.
don't do it. You'd be really disappointed. God, Sam.
Okay. AJ has got his star back in Henry. I still think he's going to lose to Annie.
Yeah, and he's got some really
Okay,
good matchups with him playing Chicago,
great matchup.
him playing Washington,
Great matchup.
these guys playing the Chargers,
Okay matchup.
Tyreek Hill against Pittsburgh.
And they're out Mika Fitzpatrick, who is their best defender. So yeah. Damian Harris probably won't play. So AJ's going to have to replace a flex.
Sure.
Braxton Berrios is pretty bad.
Step back real quick. I looked at Berrios. He's wide receiver 27 on the year right now. He's averaging above 10 points.
Yeah, he is. 29.
29, but honestly, Berrios is not a bad play.
That's all on kickoff returns, though. That's all his points. So, I mean, it's risky.
It's risky. I'm just saying, not the worst play.
Not the worst. But, I mean, even if Damian Harris is out, he can plug and play Kareem Hunt, which isn't terrible. But
Yeah.
Avery Williams is also just a return guy. So, banking on 2 return guys is rough.
Sure. For some reason, and it goes against necessarily what the paper says, but I think Kittle is going to have his first monster game of the season against Kansas.
Sure.
He's a big game kind of guy. And I think none of the yards go to Debo and they all go to Ayuk.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know why you're saying that.
Annie's team is just objectively stronger. And she likely wins.
Tate, what do you think?
I think Kyler Murray's gonna have a big game, so I don't know. With DeAndre back.
Yeah, good point. We'll know tomorrow, because tomorrow is Thursday.
Indeed.
Indubitably.
Yeah.
Undoubtful.
All right. Kayla's going to crush our dad.
Yeah. Dalvin Cook's out. Her full strength starting lineup is pretty much in.
Yep.
Kinda. Doesn't even matter. It's not even close.
I mean, the only
Jamal
thing would be,
Agnew's
like,
bad.
She averages nearly 60 points more than Pops. No.
like 25.
6 games, 145 points. 3. She averages an entire Austin Eckler higher than Pops. So I would say she could drop Eckler, and I would still rank her as likely to win. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, but what if Aaron picked up Eckler?
Cleveland is the worst defense against quarterbacks, so Lamar's the number 1 quarterback this week. Seahawks suck at run defense. Eckler's going to destroy. Nick Chubb is going to run all over Baltimore. St. Brown is going to need 150 yards if that Lions have a chance. Lazard is suddenly good, and Tanyan. Brandon Cooks has a juicy matchup. Jags have a juicy matchup. Her team is going to destroy.
And Daniel Carlson is averaging like a low-end running back one's points. So
That he is.
Yeah.
Not even close.
He's like Morton Harris.
Yeah.
This one is really easy. Luke has Cup out. Luke will lose.
Yes. I mean,
And Singletary.
can you scroll down? Does he have a backup running back?
He does.
Okay. He can play it literally a backup running back, Dontrell Hilliard. He's going to lose.
Yeah.
Who's he playing?
Gramps.
Oh, I mean, Gramps' team sucks too.
Yeah, but he's got a juicy matchup, juicy matchup, juicy matchup, juicy matchup.
Keenan's probably not going to play, and if he does, it's going to be limited. But
Yeah, juice, not juice.
Say Jones.
Basically, Gramps' full strength team, however terribly sucky it may be, is better than Luke's team without Cup and Singletary.
True. Yeah.
No chance for Luke.
It wouldn't surprise me if Luke wins, but I don't think it's going to happen.
It genuinely
Renfro?
would surprise me.
What's that, Tate?
What about Renfro? What if he has a big game? But I don't
Well-
want him to. Devontae have one.
There's a reason why these guys haven't had big games yet.
Renfro hasn't had a good game yet because Devontae is clearly like the only receiver that Derek Carr wants to throw to.
What's going to happen is
Wasn't it
Vegas is going to get an
college
early
buddy?
lead, and they're going to ground and pound it out with Jacobs. Anyways. Luke loses.
Yeah.
Whew. Now this is a close match.
Aiden wins.
You know what I think it hinges on?
Hmm.
I think it hinges on these 2 questionable backs.
Well, I have Taylor's replacement. He scored 23 last week.
He's also hurt. Quadriceps.
Is he out?
He's likely out.
Well,
But you have you'd move Robinson up, and then you'd play Latavius, or you play DJ Moore. Let's really quick go player by player. Carr,
Wait.
Smith, really even Steven in my mind.
Sure.
Gabe,
Yeah.
like literally, like almost all your games except for Derek Carr, they're gonna happen before Sunday. So you'll get like 0 Sunday action except for Carr.
Thursday. I mean, I have 2 guys playing tomorrow.
Well, Sunday, but like it's 7 a.m.
You
So like
have no one after 7 a.m.
Yeah, Derek Carr is my only post 7 a.m. guy.
Oh yeah,
you have no 1 p.m. You only have AMs.
yeah. Early finish for Gabe.
It's going to be a fun morning window on Red Zone.
The load will be shared sooner than expected.
Yeah,
Let's just go really quick. I'd say even Steven at Cube.
sure.
I'd say advantage Kamara, but not as much as you think.
I think the matchup probably hinges it in Kamara's favor.
Yeah,
But
But-
they're like the same type of back, running and receiving.
I'd say I expect Kamara to get 18, Brees to get 14. You know, it's not a huge difference.
Sure.
Kamara Mostert, or Taylor Mostert, huge advantage Taylor if he plays.
Yeah.
That's it. And Mostert's been good, so not like colossal, just huge. I would say advantage Hopkins, honestly. I see Tariq Woolen as shadowing Mike Williams, straight shadowing, and Woolen has been lights out.
I mean, we haven't seen Hopkins yet, but with Marquise Brown down, he's steps right into the number 1 role, like unquestionably. So
Yeah, and
as
the
long as
Saints-
his conditioning is up, he's gonna be like the top target on this offense through the air.
the Saints are the third letting up the third most points in the NFL right now,
Yeah.
and they got even more injuries last week. Duvernay Coop, I'm gonna give the very, very slight edge to Duvernay,
He does all the returns.
but this is kind of a wash. They're both good plays.
I saw some stat where Cooper has like averaged 3 points on the road and like 20 at home. So
Sure.
Cooper's on the road again this week. Baltimore's secondary isn't terrible. So hopefully Duvernay. I mean, they play each other. That will be fun to watch.
I'm gonna give I know there's injuries that make Otten a better play this week, but I'm gonna say advantage Pitts.
Yeah, I
But
would
they're
agree.
both kind of low scoring advantages. And then I'm gonna give it a straight wash here. These guys both last week had their first games where they did anything. And we need to see it again before you believe it, muchacho. So
Yeah. Well, Juju's been playing all year and it's been bad, except for last week. Brian Robinson finally got back on the field and he was given the load.
sure, but it's Commanders.
But it was a scary load to be receiving.
He was a touchdown away from being irrelevant. And then defensively, I don't like the Cowboys matchup, and I do like the Titans, and then kickers are kickers. So slight edge to Gabe.
I would agree.
Tate,
Aiden.
okay. And then the Diggler versus the Dog.
Diggler's gonna win. Diggler's gonna win.
You're going with your pops, huh?
I mean, he's missing
all the
his
way.
best player.
Yeah. I think even with Diggs, I probably would still go Travis, but this lineup that Jason's rolling with this week looks really shaky. Like Robbie Anderson and Deontay Johnson, a hurt Dobbins.
Yeah, so like everything except for Fournette, I'm like, eh.
I mean, Ertz is good. Jason will need like a 30-point Bucks D performance to have like a consideration at this, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, but I just don't
I
think
think
it's going to happen.
Jacob Eason is going to start that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's awesome. For Bucks,
Go
dude.
Dogs. Jacob Eason, Husky.
Husky. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm going Trav.
I'm going Trav, and Tate is going Jason. We'll see. We shall see.
Yeah. Before we leave, Tate, any thoughts on next week that you want to share?
That you guys are biased for Hawaii, and you guys hate my dad for no reason, even though he has a better team than you, Gabe. And yeah,
Well, we hate our own dad too, don't worry. Both of our dads suck. Actually, anyone in the league that's a dad sucks. Think about it. Sam sucks, Joe sucks, Gramps sucks, Pop sucks. All the fathers are terrible. Especially ours. Okay, we're just kidding. They're garbage.
AJ. I mean, Tate.
Tate J.
yes.
It's not that I hate your dad's team. I just don't think it's as good. And I think he might be telling you things more than I tell you things over here just because he lives in your household. So
Yeah, he might be poisoning your mind.
if you
He
lived
hasn't-
over in Hawaii with us, you'd think his team sucks too.
Yeah, because I've
Would
been
you
part
like
of
to
the
be
alliance.
adopted by me and Gabe?
Not with that look on your face.
Well, this has been the Gridiron. It's the Gridiron Podcast.